Hi, this is Terry Kavanaugh, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is a future episode. We're recording a bit ahead of time, but welcome to whatever month this may be. Hopefully it's mid-January. Hopefully I've got my maths right. So you're with your High Priest of Conchu Ray. Good day, everyone. And with me on this sojourn, very special. Now, I'm always feeling a little inadequate when I'm with these guys. These are the Velvet Drapes. Justin, the Owl, and Knol Looney Tunes. Welcome both of you guys.
Hey, butt cracky.
And special guest as well.
Ray, how are you?
Good, Justin, good. Going well. Very excited about this. We'll see how this goes. There's a few other factors against us, but it's always going to be fun to have a chat with you guys. Knol, yourself, how are you? How are tricks?
I've lost it already. It's the ladies are to bed, but not too long ago I was dealing with a naked 5-year-old running around screaming, "You gave me too much sugar! You gave me too much sugar!"
Well, at least she knows, so that it's good. That's good. Self-awareness is half the journey. Anyway, loony listeners, we are here. It is, if you look up into the night sky, to that very hot night sky, it is a waxing gibbous, which means it's an other side of the moon, which means, loonies, in case you haven't been following, it means it's a comic book with Moon Knight in it, not necessarily his title, but we've picked a good one here. It's Solo Avengers number 3. So there is a backup story here, or I don't want to rank them. It's just as good as the first story, right, guys? Or no, maybe not. Okay,
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, slightly.
Okay, but
Justin's giving away the game, man.
Oh no, come on, poker face, guys, poker face. But
you guys want to know what Ray rated it? I know already.
Yeah,
I can give it away if you want.
No, don't.
No
Don't.
spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers. This is spoiler free. If you do want to listen to actually the non-Moon Knight story, Knol and Justin and I will be returning exclusively to the Patronies, and we'll have our own little episode there, all to do with an American archer in Paris. It's the Hawkeye story of this. Let it be known as well, this Solo Avengers. Am I correct, guys? It is predominantly Hawkeye. It's kind of like Marvel 2-in-1 for the Thing, right, isn't it? And kind of like Marvel team up with Spider-Man. Yeah.
All the ones I've ever read have been Hawkeye stories. So
yeah. And later on it became Avengers Spotlight, and it still had the main feature as Hawkeye. Yeah.
So this is weirdly timely for something that's coming up like a month after the show ends.
Yeah.
That's true,
That's true. We are all basking in the glory of that fantastic conclusion.
Our future selves will know if Clint Barton in the MCU is dead or not, I guess.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just going to assume that everything's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's still around somewhere.
Hopefully.
Heaven.
I'd like to see Kate Bishop, though. I'd like to see her, shine. She was pretty cool. She was a standout. She is a standout of the series. So.
Oh, yeah. It's been great.
Sponsors, of course, I would be remiss not to mention them before we kick off into our velvety drapery of banter. So, of course, Drew Toombs produces some
Who does music?
He does music, both under the moniker Toombs with a Z and Lurk Music with a CK. Go check it out. Daniel Doing, a fantastic cosplayer, and also creator-owned comic book of a awesome character, Fringe Knight. Go check that out too. CLZ Comics from collectors.com. Fantastic database to catalogue all your, for all your, for all your obsessive compulsive needs. To get everything catalogued and ordered. They do a fine job. And finally, Dreamland Comics online, the superhero superstore from Illinois. Justin, Knol, are you ready to get into the Tower of Shadows?
So ready to enter the tower. Yes. Fantastic.
Wonderful. Fantastic. This is just stereo.
In stereo. Yeah. Stereo.
Well, let's divvy this up. Oh my God! Was that an exhale of satisfaction, or I'm not sure?
I'm not sure.
Well, we could.
I think it was satisfaction.
I think it was exhilaration.
Exuberance.
Orgasm.
Orgasmic. I was about to say that. You went there. Why not? So let's divvy this up. I'm gonna no bones about it. I'm gonna go for the easy low hanging fruit. I'm gonna go for the titles.
Come on.
Actually, interesting. Then, can I ask Knol? Can you then give a little bit of a recap to listeners that may not know what we do, how we're going to do this? And Justin, would I again be asked? Can I ask you to do the lovely bare bones?
Certainly.
Hackneyed written by myself, but yeah, that'd be great. So anyway,
this was wonderful. Did a great job.
Thank you.
This is.
Thank you. Anyway, listeners,
as always.
You have to come up with fancy names for the credits, though. Everyone gets a Stan Lee name.
I will. There's no Jimmy Jenny Craig here, but we'll give it a go.
That's right.
So anyway, Solo Avengers Volume 1, Issue 3. We're going for the Tower of Shadows. It's the Moon Knight-centric story, released February 1988 by Roger Angry Stern, by Bobby Scout Hall, Stan I'm Not a Duck Drake,
Lee Drake,
Lee Drake, Lee Drake,
Paul Stanley Becton, Jack Stanley Morelli,
and finally Mark Stanley Gruenwald. Oh, okay. And Mark, excellent writer. Is he a creator? Yeah, he's a creator.
Salute Gruenwald.
Salute. Yeah. Now this is available in floppy format. I did do the research. I couldn't find it on Marvel Unlimited, guys, or I couldn't find it on Comixology. So maybe our future selves have better luck. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see them really putting any kind of. I mean, maybe they should. There's
not this shit.
But yeah. Why should we bother scanning this stuff? I don't know. But they should.
Yeah,
I think isn't this going to be reprinted in one of the omnibuy next year?
I'm not sure. Actually, I was gonna
in the Moon Knight?
One of the Moon Knight.
I think the 80s one.
Oh.
And this could be. I could be wrong. Could be stretching. The Hawkeye Epic Collection. Surely it's got to be in there. I mean, well, there's plenty of Hawkeye, so why this one? I don't know. But yeah, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to have a lot in it.
Yeah,
it's going to have a lot of stuff in it. Yeah,
that's true. So Knol, for those that haven't listened to this schmozzle before, what can we expect to hear?
The key moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're talking about?
Fantastic. Yeah. Key moments.
Is that all you want me to say? The key moments. We're just going to talk about the key moments of the comic book.
I thought it was like the bare bones, and then we'll go through the key moments and cap it off with a rating.
Oh, you want me to read out the whole sheet here?
Well, no.
Yeah. First we're gonna do what Ray just did, and we're gonna read you the credits, and then we're gonna tell you where it's available. It's just a floppy. We've all got our floppies because we're old and we're nerds. And then Ray's gonna read, or then Justin is gonna read the bare bones, which will be beautifully read, and he won't miss a single word. And then we're going to go through the aspects, and then we're going to comment on it, and we're going to talk about the writing, we're going to talk about the art, we're going to talk about the themes, we're going to talk about the characterizations and references to other runs, and then we're going to give it a moon rating, and it's going to be Khonshu's rating system, because the one that Ray came up with a long time ago is kind of lame.
Yep, exactly.
And then we're going to have an ad break. And
no, we can stop there, Noel. That's it. That's good. We don't have to give everything away. Hence the pointy brackets.
There's pointy brackets on there?
Well, just for the ad break.
That's like
I guess our own notes kind of.
It just says page break.
Oh yeah. That's true as well. Now I see here as well. Little peek behind the curtains, listeners. Justin is the only one that's done his homework. His column is gloriously filled out. Noel.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Can I read Justin's?
I'm going to be.
Justin,
I'm going to be leaning heavily on Justin's notes.
Roger Stern's take on Moon Knight. I wish he had done more with the character. Enjoyed the okay.
No, but that's fine. I mean, we'll rip off each other. We'll bounce off each other, i.e., we'll bounce off Justin's notes. So that's all good. Justin.
Yeah, everyone knows I didn't actually read this anyway.
I'm just educating.
I don't do my homework. I just
Justin,
like to look at the pretty pictures.
Justin, would you be so kind to read the bare bones for me now? Again, since we're doing a little bit of a dry run here, you'll have to just bear with me. Give it 5 seconds, and then I'll kind of mute down the music. Okay?
Okay. Sure, yeah.
Okay, here we go, listeners. This is Justin. Turn out the lights, lock the doors, and sip your favourite drink.
Get the candles out.
Get the candles out, scented, and have a gander at this.
The Tower of Shadows. Responding to a tip from Jack Russell, the werewolf by night, Moon Knight investigates a mysterious tower that appears to be expecting him. Traversing many booby traps along the way, it's not long before Moon Knight is confronted with the culprit seemingly responsible, the ever-elusive Shroud. The two engage in a lengthy battle, and both are able to gain the upper hand at different points of the battle. The throwdown ends when the Shroud reveals that he is not alone. The night shift are there waiting, but for very different purposes. The Shroud reveals that he hopes to recruit Moon Knight into the night shift, and in a surprising revelation, hopes that Moon Knight will lead them in his place. The battle in the tower and the trap set were an elaborate scheme to test Moon Knight, and the White Knight does not take kindly to being played. Moon Knight responds, saying that his allegiance is still with the Avengers, and remotely calling upon his mooncopter, Moon Knight ponders the proposition and the man who seems to be a kindred spirit, the one called the Shroud.
The Shroud, the Shroud.
The Shroud!
Yep, so there you go.
Before I go. That's how the deleter song goes, right after that part. Yeah, so that was it. Issue 1 of this fantastic new... No, wait.
Issue 3.
Issue 3.
Fantastic. And that was fantastically read out, Justin. Thank you again. Always doing justice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, look, I put in some key moments here. I mean, I don't know if you guys thought of any particular ones you want to give a shout out to, but I mean, there wasn't, to be honest, there wasn't that many. The biggest one for me was the meme. Would you say that was? Which, you know, if you read it back,
the origin of the meme.
Exactly, but if you read it back in 1988, it was insignificant because it wasn't around then, the meme. But yeah, I mean, we can keep.
You weren't thinking about Dracula then?
No,
not in this way.
Not in this.
Yeah,
no,
Dracula was dead at that point in time. Yeah.
This tower has no
spoilers. He's always been dead.
Oh, well,
undead.
Undead times 2.
True. Actually, I should start with overall then. Overall, Justin, what did you think of this? Besides the meme, I guess.
I really love this one. I actually read this about 10 or so years ago. It's not that long, but I love the fact that it was when he was on the trail of Taurus in that great West Coast Avengers story with the Zodiac, because he had that big beef with Taurus about breaking his breaking the moon law or whatever, and so he was hell bent to track Cornelius Van Lunt down.
And Lunt.
And I love that we get to see him actually do the legwork in this issue. Because in that West Coast Avengers issue, he just shows up and him and Taurus have their big skirmish. But this issue, you actually see how he got the lead in the first place. I like that.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you have actually given it a lot more depth and consideration than I had, but you're absolutely right. I mean,
you're gonna raise your score now, Ray?
I did notice. No, I mean, because not necessarily, but
that sounds like half a point continuity, baby.
Well, it's true. I mean, there was that dimension of Lunt, and I was like, yeah, I remember the West Coast Avengers series. But yeah, Noel, what did you make of this series? I mean, this issue.
It was really fun. Yeah, it's a kind of a dragged out B story. There's not a lot of depth to it, I guess, really. Yeah. Other than it actually fits in a little bit to, fits in a lot, I guess, really to West Coast Avengers, just having the Shroud in it, because I know he turned down the West Coast Avengers in the first place, so I thought it was kind of cool that they brought him back. To have a little, and like there's the Moon Knight and Shroud together. That's just a cool picture, So overall, yeah, I thought it was a neat, comic book.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good as well. I mean, like I mentioned, Justin, I hadn't really considered how it did tie into the West Coast Avengers and that particular story with Taurus. For me, it was just pretty much the premise was very simple. It was just like Moon Knight got a call, come out to this tower. It's booby trapped, and it was a surprise to see the Shroud. But hey, he's on the front cover as well, so there's no real surprise there. It did surprise me to see the Night Shift though, and I love seeing them because, I mean, this is the original iteration of them, and the one that you see in the Captain America comics as well, where the Shroud actually also goes up to Cap and reveals himself again. Like I'm complicated. I go.
It's like remember when Red Skull did this to me? So this is what happened to me. I read that issue right after this one, the Night Shift in Captain America. It's pretty great. And he's just kind of like, what the fuck? Not good. And then Cap's like, cool.
Yeah. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, the art was really cool. I guess. Because I saw I keep on saying Roger Stern. I saw him in the credits, and albeit it's like half an issue long, so it's a bit hard, but I was a little bit disappointed. I was hoping for, I don't know, something a lot more layered from Roger. But But then again, it is only half a story, and it's like half an issue. So you've only got so much to play with.
I don't know. I thought he had some cool ideas. I mean, the fact that it's all it's very noir, it's Moon Knight. It's kind of, he's telling it like it's in past tense sort of in all the caption boxes, which I thought were cool, even though there's a lot of them. So I mean, Stern put in his work. At least he typed a lot, he did that. So he had
a lot of these caption boxes.
So he had to at least think a little bit.
But I remember you saying you don't like the thought bubbles from Moon Knight, so that
exactly, and
that pleased you on this regard.
Yeah, at least we got more captions. But I don't think we get any from anybody in here, which is cool.
Yeah.
Just scanning real quick. Yeah, I don't see any thought bubbles, which is, to me, that just feels more Moon Knight. It feels more Moon Knight to actually have sort of a journal of the night. He's thinking back, right? Dear diary, the other night I was flying my mooncopter to go to a Dracula dear Concha, to go to a Dracula castle, but turns out it wasn't Dracula there. It was this freak with the brand on his forehead named the Shroud, and then he had all these guys with him, and he had werewolves, and it was really neat. So Raj, I thought he did a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I guess I'd say I was more impressed with Bob Hall's art. Just because Moony looks really cool in it, and again,
he does.
Yeah.
Wait, at this point in the West Coast Adventures, did Do they go back? I can't remember. I was just reading some of those last week too. Did he go back to the crescent moon on his chest?
Oh.
The bling costume?
Oh.
Or did he
in
still
the West
have the
Coast?
Ankh like he did? Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, actually, you're right. There is a difference there. I'm thinking Lost in Space
when he
Time.
went to West Coast.
I think he had the Ankh.
West Coast.
I feel like he did for a long time, yeah.
In Fist of Khonshu, obviously, but I don't remember if it was in West Coast Avengers or not. He's got the rest of the bling. He's got his like cute little wrestler belt and the bracelet. He's got a man purse tied to his back, which is kind of cool.
It's a pretty big one as well. I mean, it seems to hold a hatchet in there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a big hatchet in there.
It's not.
There's another meme.
Yeah. It's pretty poor taste.
Is there another meme? Speaking of the hatchet.
I don't know, but I mean, I think it's pretty poor taste considering his brother, the Hatchet Man, stabbed Marlene in the back, and there he is using a hatchet. What's going on, Moony?
Swinging it around, and screaming. Face me like a man!
Yeah, it's in his blood, What else is he going to do? He's just like,
even your own!
Resist. Hatchet!
Even your own!
Exactly.
Even your own!
Surprised he didn't say that. But yeah, I don't know. So the key moments, though, then, I mean, we're talking about the writing, the art, which is cool, but say, Justin, is there anything like big, momentous from this issue that you want to...
I love the booby trap tower. I know that you mentioned that, the booby trap tower. I love that because that was kind of like a classic Moon Knight. Like Doug Mensch kind of. Like that special with Shang-Chi where they were fighting all the booby traps in a weird Incan temple. Like that type of a story. It reminded me a little bit of that, and that was cool.
It reminded me...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was about to say, it reminded me of that Daredevil issue. It was Jason Burrows'. He called it out. It was one of his favourite. We did an Isla Ra with Jason Burrows, and he said it was the one with the famous sci-fi writer, Harlan. What's his name? Does anyone know?
Harlan Ellison?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, where Daredevil goes into this booby-trapped house. And that kind of reminded me of this, but that was a whole issue, though. And that was a lot more intricate. Yeah, really good issue.
I'm trying to remember that. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened at the end, but he found himself having to go through that house of horrors. But yeah, this was pretty much similar, but I guess shorter and in a weird tower / castle, which makes it kind of adds to the atmosphere.
And I love this big old Gothic castle off the coast of California or wherever this is.
It's like Santa Monica or something.
It's a big Gothic castle off the coast. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks.
Yeah, like Larry David's hanging out in the corner. What are you doing in here? Let me just get out of my castle.
It does look like something dropped right out of Latveria or something. But
totally.
Yeah, but we get Moony like gliding in, as you said, the booby traps start happening. Now the thing that kind of I guess puts you off is that he what was it? He like jumps onto the gargoyles, but they seem to retract as well. Like everything seems to be orchestrated for him to actually enter and go into the tower. So there's a little bit of mystique there, but I think it really doesn't. It picks up when we do see the Shroud. I mean, I thought another one of the big moments would be, I think, the throwdown between the Shroud and Moon Knight. There's an extended fight scene, and it's really cool because they are, arguably very much alike, but they're also visually opposite. Black and white. They both got the hoods. But yeah, it was really interesting to see the powers of the Shroud. And man, I tell you, the Shroud's an MVP, right? He's a gun when it comes.
So. Yeah, I think so.
He gets really good.
We're all fans of the Shroud here.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
When he punches him in the back of the head, it's a great panel, and it's just like.
And then he kicks him into the brick wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when.
He's not messing around.
No. And speaking of word balloons, Knol, I love it how you see the Shroud talking, and he's got that wavy word balloon. But then Moon Knight actually calls out to him saying, "Oh, you've taken an octave down and you're talking normally now. So he's
giving him shit for doing a superhero voice.
Yeah.
Like,
so he's full on got a superhero voice. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are you? I'm the one who's supposed to be like Batman. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was swear to me. I thought that was really funny, actually.
Swear to me.
Well, that and the Shroud putting on a voice. But yeah, I mean, this fight is pretty epic in some sense. Like, there's even a bit where Moon Knight gets him in an apparently unbreakable headlock, but he notes that
the part right before that is great. The way he grabs his cape, those like 3 panels, and right before he gets him in the headlock, it grabs his cape and he uses his whole momentum jumping to thwap him on his ass.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Slam him into the ground. It's great.
That requires a lot of power.
We have things to discuss.
Well, actually,
Marcus looks like a badass.
Yeah. I mean, even actually going before that, backtracking before that, again, we get a bit of more insight of the Shroud in case you are a reader that doesn't know much about him. Moon Knight throws like some flares, like he mentions it's like Hawkeye's flare arrows. I'm hoping to blind the Shroud, but it does nothing to him because we all know the Shroud is blind. But he uses that to disorient him to an extent anyway, and he does manage to grab his coat before he kind of does. So he can kind of like, he goes in and out of the dark matter, right? The Shroud. He can. His power set to me, I thought. Sorry, Justin.
He's kind of like Cloak from Cloak and Dagger. He can access that dark force dimension and kind of use that as a means of teleportation and whatnot.
And like what's his name? Was it not Frostbite? Blind. He was a Ghost Rider villain. He was blind, snowblind. It's like him as well. Yeah, where he can he can create a field. But this is a dark field where people become blind, and he can actually see them, I guess.
True.
But we didn't see much of that here. Yeah, it was more of a shadowy, night crawler-ish, I jump in and out of the shadows thing from the Shroud. But yeah, pretty powerful character. I'm just trying to look. How does Mooney end up getting him? He just keeps on punch. What was this thing? Moon Knight goes,
wraps his cape.
Well, no,
he
just
his
before
cape around him.
He goes, "You hit me with a candle." Like, was that meant to show that the Shroud didn't know what he had in his hand? Like, he thought it was probably something a lot more deadly than that. And Moon Knight was like, "What? You just hit me with a candle."
Well, yeah, in the panel before that, Moon Knight kicks him.
Yeah.
And he like lurches over, and the closest thing next to him after that is a candlestick.
Yeah.
So it looks like he just grabbed whatever was there and belted him in the face with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was...
threw a teddy bear at a tracksuit mafia guy.
But I thought it was meant to kind of indirect...
Get your hands on.
Exactly. But I mean, I thought maybe it was...
You're looking way too deep into this.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
you just hit...
Sometimes...
You hit a guy... Have you ever been in a fight, man?
Not with a candle.
Not with the candle.
You gotta grab whatever's there.
Throw sand at someone's face. You gotta do whatever you want.
Oh, many times.
There was a wicked battle scene in Clifford the Red Dog, or the big red dog we saw today.
Yeah.
Really?
Where the guy gets in a fight with these guys, and he just throws salt in the guy's face, and I was like, "That's genius."
Wow.
That's
That
silly kid movie. He was That's like good. In a bodega, and he's whipped salt in the guy's face. That was pretty funny. And Horatio Sands used some sausage links as nunchucks. That was pretty funny too.
Oh, nice. That's great.
I was going to say that. It sounds a lot better now than what
it's not.
Yeah, I might actually watch that now.
Nah, don't bother.
But sorry, you mentioned Knol as well. Yeah, he does wrap. I thought rather comically, he wraps the Shroud's face in a cape, in his cape, right? His own cape.
Yeah.
And then again, he slams him. So yeah, I like this battle because it was to and fro. Like, they both seem to have each other's measure at some point or other. So, I guess if you're reading the Solo Avengers, you could be a Moon Knight fan, or you potentially be a Shroud fan. I mean, they're meant to both be heroes. So
yeah,
I guess
this is such a Black Panther move too. It's like, let's see if you can kick my ass so you can join my team of weirdos and freaks.
Yeah. So that's the key moment, the reveal of And rightly so around this time. We know the Shroud's part of the night shift. But yeah, what a motley crew. I love them though. Brothers Grimm, Gypsy Moth. You got TikTok there.
TikTok.
Tatterdemali. Yes, he's awesome.
Yeah.
The Needle. The Needle's very scary. There's actually an issue, I think, penned by Gruenwald for Spider-Woman, where she goes up against the Needle, and it's very horror. Like it's the best I've ever seen the Needle. He kind of comes off as a little bit redundant in the night shift, but he's a pretty cool character. And then there's what's her name? Dance Macabre.
Dance Macabre and the Digger.
And the Digger.
The Digger with his big shovel.
The big spade. It reminds me of the guy from Mystery Man. You know, the shovel or the spade.
He reminds me of from that old Scooby-Doo episode, The Creeper.
Oh.
He reminds me of the Creeper from Scooby-Doo.
Sounds like one of my school teachers. Anyway.
My favorite though, as soon as that panel of the night shit, Moon Knight just goes, "I begin to regret coming here on my own."
Well, he does. I mean, this is the thing at the outset. He gets a call, doesn't he? He gets a call from Jack Russell, and it's like it's a full moon as well. I don't know if Jack's totally there in their head, and then he's got Jack Russell staring at him in the face, you know, with all these freaks behind him as well. So yeah, you wouldn't blame Moon Knight for packing it a little bit at this stage. But thankfully,
he even says Russell should be wilder than a bag of bobcats.
Yeah, exactly. But Dance Macabre has tamed him with her mind control powers. And also the full moon is mentioned for Mooney's powers as well. He's waxing and waning.
He says, "Good thing it's a full moon, otherwise I would have got my ass beat."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the Shroud does pack a punch. You know, it would have just been totally laid out. So, So
it's funny though. After they have their discussion, the Shroud's talking to him, and he's like, "If he's anywhere in the valley, off this castle's in the valley. Come on." We'll have him within 24 hours. I will fix on him. You'll be the first to know. You have the word of the Shroud.
Wow,
he just goes back to his Shroud voice out of nowhere.
He puts it on. Yeah.
We were joking about how Norman Osborn and Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Having Russell read I tell you, Parker, I'm going to, get you. Blah blah blah. He puts his mask on. Green Goblin. He just went down. So the Shroud was talking. We'll get a fix on him, and you'll be the first to know. You have the word of the Shroud.
Yeah, and then Moon Knight says, "Thanks," and then he goes back to his normal voice, the Shroud. It's okay.
Yeah,
you owe me one for tonight.
You owe me one for tonight.
Yeah, I like him. He's got a real high pitched voice, I think.
Yeah.
Moon Knight just like, okay, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at his the look on his face as he looks over his shoulder. But yeah, it leaves him perplexed as he's going up in the mooncopter. He's still thinking about this weird guy, the Shroud. Obviously for different reasons.
Moon Knight goes, thanks.
Thanks.
I thought the West Coast Avengers was bad enough.
Yeah. But
the
Shroud.
Guys.
The Shroud makes a lot of good points. I could see Moon Knight more so in the night shift than the Avengers. He seems out of place in the Avengers, apart from like Tigra. He just seems a bit.
Still, even with Tigra, he feels pretty damn out of place.
Yeah. But with night shift, like with all the other, the likes of Jack Russell and Tony
they're all a bunch of reformed criminals too. So
well, that too. So I mean,
doesn't Mark talk about that during this too? He's just like, I'm not much of a team guy, but
he said. He's talking about
another aspect. He's like, I'm already on the Avengers.
Yeah, and the night shift are bigger. They're larger than the Avengers at this team is. So he says, you don't need me. But what is I guess the other thing is that the Shroud wants him to be the leader, like to take over from the Shroud as well. So it's not only do you want to be part of the group, but do you want to? He's basically palming off responsibility to Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Moon Knight leading a team? Okay, so the plan is we all jump out in front of them and let them see us all because we want them to see us coming.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we maybe sneak around the back and someone get the left flank? No. We all got to be right out there. Got to see all of us coming just to scare the crap out of them.
All at once.
Machine guns, Moon Knight. It doesn't matter.
It'd be the shortest ever lived Suicide Squad.
It would be like the Suicide Squad, definitely.
Yeah, but not successful. But yeah, I mean, Justin as well. Sorry, we didn't go through your notes as well. I'd like to. I'd like to pay some attention to that. I mean, we did cover some of it, but any other things there that you wanted to raise?
Well, he did mention at the end. He said that Moon Knight owed him one. I thought it would be cool if he ever went back and collected his debt.
Bring back the Shroud.
Yeah, I would love to see a new Shroud story with Moon Knight.
Yeah,
and it would be cool. Yeah, if he said, "Yeah, remember that? Remember when I helped you with Cornelius Van Lunt and you came to my castle? Yeah, I'm calling in that debt. I've got this thing that needs to be done."
Yeah,
that would be an awesome story.
Woo!
Yeah, albeit like 35 years later, but it's still like to happen. Does anyone know what happened to the Shroud? Last of the Shroud I saw was in the Mark Waid Daredevil run. That was the last around Original Sin. That was the last I saw.
I think that might have been the last time he's been around. Actually.
Yeah, so it's good then. Like it's a bit of a loose end. It's not like he's dead, or it's not like he's, off the chessboard. He can definitely still be used. So I wonder if they would. Wonder if it's something that Jed would do. I mean, he's obscure enough. Like Noel, you and I know, we were hunting down all the absolute appearances of the Shroud, and you can count them. Pretty, I mean, not on one hand, but they're about 50 or so. So you can easily obtain them. So
I think it would be cool just for one issue, have them come back and say, "Yeah, I remember that debt," and just have it be a one-issue thing. It doesn't have to be a big long.
Yeah.
Nah, I want a 12-issue arc with the Shroud, man.
24
a whole year with the Shroud.
Summer event.
That's right.
The Shroud.
Yeah, that's right. Taking over the night shift.
I'm just looking it up real quick. He was around during Civil War, and then at least Wikipedia has last appearances during Shadowland. Shroud paired with Silver Sable, Misty Knight, and Paladin. When Daredevil's hand ninjas targeted members of the Mafia.
Yeah. Oh no, he's definitely after. He's definitely beyond the Mark Waid run, which was what 2010.
Yeah, that was
something like that. Or
10 or 11.
Yeah, when was that Original Sin stuff? That was
actually not beyond that. It's 2015, right? 2015, 16. Yeah, because that was after. Yeah, for sure. I'm using Moon Knight chronology, so that was after the Ellis run for sure. So I don't know that. So 2015, 16. That was when I saw him last. But again, he didn't have much of a role. I think he kind of flitted in. Of course, there was a Daredevil comic more about Daredevil. I think he kind of jumped in and jumped out. They like doing that because they're both, I don't want to say it, but they're both blind. So there's that parallel that they have.
Right.
So they have crossed paths many times. But yeah, that was the last.
It's in San Francisco, Mark Waid's run.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, sorry, Justin. The notes that you were mentioning?
Well, I think that they are kind of two sides of the same coin, kind of like two different mirror images of each other, sort of ways. Because I think that didn't the Shroud used to be like a gangster or a criminal?
I think he's still before Night Shift.
His ways and
well, no, that was his cover, wasn't it? He was a criminal that.
Yeah.
Right. But I thought that he was before that.
Oh, before that, okay.
Legitimately was a criminal, and that was like the cover that he kept up so that he could continue his. I don't know. I thought.
Did you know that he was only 10 when his parents were gunned down right before his eyes?
Oh my goodness, clutching.
And that's when he dedicated his life to fighting crime, and he also received a Bachelor of Science in law at college.
Oh, there you go.
And then he went.
Another lawyer.
Objection.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually really a criminal because he was like in I'm trying to remember because it was like the list of things I've been trying to look at. He was in a bunch of.
He's in Spider-Woman as well. In the 80s, early 80s,
like super villain team up.
So, yes, he was. Yeah,
fighting against Doom and Namor.
Yep.
But yeah, he joined like a like a cult. I think he's always kind of a good guy.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't verify. But yeah, that's what I thought his whole thing was about him just constantly undercover kind of thing. That was
like kind of the Shadow.
Oh, is that what the Shadow does as well? Yeah.
No. But I mean, that's there's just like a vibe.
Shadowy. It's very shadowy character.
His powers are very kind of like the Shadow's powers, kind of.
Okay.
I
have no idea what the Shadow. Yeah. What can he do?
The Shadow's like, well, he knows.
That's it.
He knows, but no, he can basically, he's a master hypnotist, so he can make it seem like he's not.
Oh, illusion. Yeah, right. Right. Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
The Shadow knows. Weeds of crime.
That's right.
Yes.
Who knows?
It's weeds here.
Oh,
Hey, Buck Cracky. This is my stabbing stick.
This is your stabbing stick. Well, she's growing up. She's going to grow up to be a fine superhero. That's sure.
Or something.
And any other notes there, Justin, that you'd like to share?
I loved the art from Bob Hall here.
Yeah.
I thought he was tremendous.
I thought it was way
really
above average.
Fantastic art.
Yeah, really unsung as well. It's like simple in the sense of simple, but it isn't. It's like there's enough. Really well rounded. It reminds me.
It's just like house style, but really, really done well.
Well done.
Really good.
Yeah. And Moon Knight looks.
And like Knol said, that whole sequence where he grabs the Shroud and he pulls him out of the shadows and slams him into the floor. That's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, there's. I can see a lot of leanings of Sienkiewicz as well. Maybe like Bob Hall with the way that Moon Knight moves. Like he has those kind of over the top gestures. Like his kick is like almost kicks. He can kick the top of his head. No, that sort of thing. And he twists and all that. So very much Sienkiewicz. Yeah.
Just kind of the grace of the Sienkiewicz kind of movement. Yeah.
And when the Shroud first appears in that first panel, that looks very Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's
kind of melting out of the shadows like that.
That's kind of a bit of an anomaly in the whole issue, that panel, because it's just I noticed that it's kind of a bit more playful with the art, and then it's kind of like your house style. But it was a great introduction to the Shroud for sure.
Yeah, and then you get that great panel at the end where he's on the rope ladder, flying away from the castle. I love that. I love that panel. It's super.
And I don't mind his mooncopter there. I mean, I know it's still dinky looking, but I don't mind it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's good.
Such a mooncopter hater, Ray.
No, I prefer Angel Wing. I like the 90s one.
I love Angel Wing too. Yeah, I love Angel Wing too.
But actually, and having said that,
Mooncopter.
Yeah, Mooncopter, I think from the Houston run, which they model closely after this one, it looks really cool as well. So it's kind of a bit more modern. But yeah, well, I don't know if there's nothing else. Do you want to give this a fair rating? Yeah. I know Knol's there, so I want to start with the mystery that is Justin.
You don't mind? Did I fill mine in?
Well, I think I see it there.
Oh, I think I filled yours in.
I know Justin's.
Okay, we'll leave Knol's till last then because that's the unknown. Justin, what?
That was my bad.
That's all right. What would you give this one? The Tower of Shadows by Roger Stern.
I actually gave this a very high score. I give this an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Yep. So that would be the
big,
arts.
beautiful yellow man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful, and yellow.
What was it mostly for you? Was it the art or was it the action?
The art and the action. It was great to have Moon Knight just throwing down and beating the hell out of another closely matched opponent.
Yep.
And you had somebody in the Shroud who was a great hand-to-hand combatant, who really took everything Moon Knight gave him and dished it back. I love that.
Yeah.
Because when was the last time we saw that? Moon Knight actually throwing down with somebody else and actually getting his ass kicked a little bit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved that. And plus, too, the fact that you had somebody looking at Moon Knight and be like, this guy could lead my team. This guy could actually be the boss of my crew someday. How random is that? You know,
yeah. I don't know how wise that is, or how how foolhardy.
But I just love, I love the insanity of that whole decision making process. So for me, that's perfect Moon Knight, and that's another reason it nudged it up a little bit, because it's just so oddball and weird. It works perfectly. And then you've got the link to the past with Jack Russell there.
Yes,
he's there hanging out in his new fuzzy form. And just the art too. I love the art. It was simple. It was a simple little story, but it also filled in that hole from the West Coast Avengers, which I loved, because like I said, you don't get to see that a lot when they do the legwork. You often see maybe a couple of panels of them doing something, not half an issue of it. So that was nice.
Yeah. And didn't Englehart steal away West Coast Avengers from Roger Stern? I'm pretty sure Roger Stern wrote the mini-series.
Oh,
and then they gave it to, when they're trying to get Steve Englehart to come back to comics.
They gave him West Coast.
They gave him West Coast Avengers, and I guess Stern was kind of pissed about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wasn't there something Stern? Didn't Stern have the Avengers, and he got got taken from him as well? That was.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the late '80s actually, and Walt Simonson took it over.
Do you know, what was the whole deal there with Stern? Do you know? Did they just not like him anymore or something?
I don't remember. I don't remember what happened because
it's a fantastic
pretty good team.
Yeah,
he had a really good team at that point too, and it had built up to a good point, and then it just kind of unraveled after that.
I think maybe because of a lot of his Spidey stuff, people have been looking back with clearer lenses on his work, but he might have been getting dicked around a bit at the time or something. Like Steve Englehart, I mean, had been a big writer at both companies for a while. I mean, back to the late 60s, almost early 70s at least. And so I think, I guess he was able to get. I'm sure Roger was just kind of taking whatever was handed to him or wanted him. I just don't know. I mean, just between the two now, looking back, you'd be like, I think they're on equal footing, really. But maybe back then editors were like, Englehart's a bigger name. We'll give him the book, and I don't know. So he seemed poor justice for Stern, I say.
No, right. Well, with that, Knol, how do you?
No. You're next, buddy.
Oh, go next. Okay. Right, excellent. Well, the Velvet Drape has spoken. 6.5. I thought it was a fair enough. It was fun. It was really short. I mean, again, that's not the story's fault.
What do you want out of a backup in a Hawkeye comic?
Well, it's not about. Is it a backup? It's like they're about the same length, aren't they? They're about the same.
Yeah, they're about. I think they're about the same.
Seemed longer. Maybe it just read longer to me. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But no, I guess you can't take that into consideration because that's the format that it's in. The art I really loved. I don't know, had a little bit of expectations for Roger Stern stuff. Not much had happened. I was happy to see the Shroud and Night Shift as well, but I don't know. I mean, there was nothing underneath it than that. I don't know. Just like to have a few layers in there. But no, it didn't. It was a fun story, and it didn't try to be anything more than it had to be, I guess. So you can't fault it for that. But yeah, it was it was good. 6.5. Yeah, I'll read it again. Right. Definitely. Yeah. And how about you?
We've got time. Go ahead, read it. See if the score changes.
You want me to change my score? No.
I'll just be waiting.
No, on a live commentary.
Yeah. Actually, we want a live reading. I want to hear Mark's voice and your dulcet tones. Just all the...
Either of you have to do the shrouds with the squiggly word balloons. That's a gift. That's
not
a
as normal. Not as normal.
Well, actually, both of you like in unison. That would be
that'd be terrifying.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. That might be like matter and antimatter meeting.
Ray would be rubbing both of his nipples.
Would you be taking out the
I'll give it I would give it. I'm going to give it a 7 1/3.
Okay.
Wow.
7 solid.
Okay.
Round. Solid, more towards the solid round boy. We're gonna round it down. The solid round boy.
Just a little bit.
Round boy.
I liked it more until you told me why you didn't like it as much. So now.
Oh no. You should enjoy it. Enjoy it if you like. Okay.
No, I do. I love it a lot. I mean, I would. It's just under an 8 for me. Actually, it's more like 7 2/3.
7 2/3. Let's bump that up then to the big beautiful yellow man as well. So we've got 2 big beautiful yellow men, and a boy.
Yeah, I just think it's great. The art is really what gets me. It's just it just looks cool. It's basic, not quite a throwaway story because it ties in. It's in continuity, and it's just kind of
it is. But come on, barely.
It is. It fully is. It's just a cool kind of camera pan left to see Moon Knight's little adventure over here with this one little random thing. And then the camera can pan back to the West Coast Avengers. I just think it's kind of nice. Yeah. It's it's almost like having, when you've got a team book and then they separate and you can only give so many pages to that B or C plot or whatever's going on. This feels like, we get to expand out the C plot a little bit. And I just think it's neat. It's something you can do in comics. Yeah. That you can't, especially in a format like this, that you can't really do. Say it's like, for the C plot expanded in whatever this movie, see the adjoining TV show. You can't do that. For this one little moment, there's a half-hour episode randomly on TV if you want to see what's more about this movie or whatever.
That's
click here.
BDB Comics. So I'll put that in there in the prompt sheet there for you, Noel. 7.67. You did say 2/3. 667 recurring. So there you go. So Noel,
I love being difficult.
Always being difficult. Here we go. So I'm not even going to attempt the average. So there you go, listeners. Too many decimals for me. Exactly. But there you go, loonies. Well worth picking up. If the 6.5 and the 7.67 is anything to go by. Actually,
how much did you guys pay for this issue?
I think it was $1.
$3 Australian, so that's $2.
Oh, that's good.
Something.
Yeah, I think it was I found it for the dollar bin too. I think.
Yeah. Well, I think I've got a bit of. Is that how is your copy? I think I've got a bit of fading at the top. Is that the Solo Avengers? Is it meant to be faded, like kind of?
I've got some fading on the interior in mine. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that on the last page there.
It still looks alright. It still looks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mine's faded.
On the bottom.
Yeah, it still looks okay.
It's kind of like a strip that's faded on the bottom there. Anyway.
Mine's in really good shape, actually. I'm gonna put it in one of those plastic boxes like a dumbass.
Oh yeah. Last thing, a little call out, Noel. Any fantastic ads here? There's a profile on Bob Budiansky, which is pretty cool.
There's a great Dungeons and Dragons TSR ad on the very back. I like that.
Oh yeah.
There's a good Command and Kryn.
It's a good Chips Ahoy ad. I really enjoyed. Makes me hungry. I want a cookie. Full page spread for Konami games. Goonies too.
Also, if you'd like to be a Marvel Comics writer, penciler, inker, colorist, or letterer, this book was made for you. The Marvel Comics tryout book.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, the tryout book. There's a lot of people who actually got jobs through that tryout book.
All right.
Oh really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
But you also probably would have to buy How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Yes.
So study that first, and then when you're done with that, then get the tryout book. And if you can draw like Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, or John Romita Sr., you're hired.
That's right. You've got the job.
What the fuck is Captain Power? There's like a kid holding like looks like a mix between. It looks like the Battlestar Galactica.
Was that?
It's in a Hawkeye story, and it's pointing at the TV, and he's like shooting a laser, and the kid's just screaming his bloody head off.
Yeah.
It looks like the pilot is getting ejected. It's like a sideways ad. Don't just stand there. Fire back, Captain Power.
Toy actions. I can't say I remember Captain Power.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe it did make its way to our shores. I don't know. Maybe it capitulated.
Maybe it was like most things advertised in comic books, and it failed.
Yeah, exactly.
Miserably.
Comic book classifies the last resort. Anyway,
just like M&M's did.
Well, actually, M&M's gone great guns. D&D
just
as
kidding.
well.
That's a joke. Chocolate fun for everyone. And D&D. Now D&D was failing for a long time.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah.
As a mainstream thing. Oh yeah. Satanic Panic killed some D&D for a while.
Oh.
Only bad boys played it.
Yeah.
We switched to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Which is a much cooler role-playing game than Dungeons and Dragons. If anyone
I've never played Dungeon. Justin, are you a D&D person or?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got back into it about 5 or 6 years ago. I took a long time away from it. Got back into it when the latest edition came out, which was a lot easier and more streamlined.
They simplified it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
nice. Well.
And I love a lot of the adventure modules that they make. A lot of the different settings are really fun.
Cool. Excellent. Who's your character of choice? Do you make them up? Yeah. Can you Yeah.
Are you an orc?
Can you?
I usually like to play some type of magic wielder, some type of spellcaster.
Some sort of elf. Are you an elf?
I don't really have many elves. No.
Can you keep like a character, like a fictitious character established? Like, can you, or is that against? You have to pick something.
Oh yeah, you can definitely use that. Yeah,
it can be like Moon Knight.
You could definitely do a Moon Knight. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Do you have a 20-sided die?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one on my desk.
I've got one right over there. I have to hide it from Stella because I'm afraid she'll swallow it.
And why are the 20-sided ones so small? Yeah. 20-sided, you'd have them bigger, right?
When I was a kid, we had like a big one.
Oh, okay.
It was just
you can get the giant ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I don't know. Turtles is better. The whole Palladium system is better.
Anyway, listeners, we are digressing.
Fucking nerds.
I was waiting for him to say it.
You dangled the carrot there long enough.
That's not true. Hey, let's go.
No feedback here because obviously we're doing this ahead of time. But please send in
CMK7 says beep boop beep.
Well, I'm hoping Chris does send in something. As you as well, listeners, if you can, that'd be great. Any of our platforms will be cool. Love to hear from you, and we'll definitely always discuss it afterwards. But having said that, a big thank you to both of you guys. It's been an enriching and an educational journey through this backup story. Justin, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah,
Knol?
Always a pleasure.
I salute you, sir.
No, before we go, though, of course, a spectacle. Now, this is in the future, of course, so you guys have got to get your future hats on. Anything that you'd like to shout out? I'd start off with Justin. I know, obviously, Tomes of Evil is a big thing, but there are other things in the works, potentially.
Yes, well, Tomes of Evil, I think in January, we're going to be full swing in the Devil's Reign crossover, covering a bunch of that, to goodness. So we'll have some special episodes dedicated to that. And then January and February will be the launch of my new podcast, The Lost Library of Legends, which I'm very excited about.
Excellent. And what sort of, can you divulge in any, like, the sort of characters or themes that you might be doing?
Well, it's going to be a lot of focus on older comics. We're not going to be talking about really any new stuff. It's going to be all mainly stuff from 80s and 90s, kind of obscure, ongoing series that never caught on, or limited
And
series.
alliterisms.
Lots of those. I love my alliterisms. So we're going to be doing some sub-series as well, kind of like we do on Tomes of Evil, about some kind of obscure characters like Darkhawk and Sleepwalker.
Awesome.
And Jim Starlin's Dreadstar and a bunch of cool stuff. So
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
That sounds awesome. Listeners, definitely go check it out as this episode drops. Keep an eye out for it. Otherwise, stay tuned to a lot of the Tomes of Evil episodes where Justin features for all the updates for those upcoming shows. And Knol as well. You have a show out and about.
Yeah, speaking of Tomes of Evil, Russell and I started by now, at least, or maybe, who knows, we'll have at least 3 or 4 episodes out by now, but the Inconsolable Spider-Man, all about Peter Parker wanting to kill himself. It's pretty great. It's a pretty great comic. It goes really deep into the psychology of Spider-Man, and
fantastic.
It's fantastic. The Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast is what we're actually doing.
Yes.
The only Howard the Duck podcast on the internet.
Yes.
There's probably some Howard the Duck podcasts not on the internet. But yeah, Russell and I have been chatting up, getting ducking wild, and which is today came in the mail, volume 2 of the complete collection of.
Nice.
Ooh,
there it is. Look at that.
This goes into I have almost all of volume 1 in floppy form, but this gets a little beyond that. This gets into his black and white magazine, which got a little saucy. A little dirty, you know.
Yeah, you got to keep that on the top shelf. Yeah.
We get to see some boobies, I think. At least some side.
Wow.
You get a little. You get to see.
Well, you're talking about duck.
You can see some
no.
Beverly. Look at that right there, Beverly.
Wow.
Woohoo!
How did you get to that page so quickly?
It's earmarked, baby. I got it used. The pages were stuck together. So, yeah, people don't know Howard the Duck is a great, fun character, but the sort of backstory and everything that goes on around Howard the Duck throughout his history is amazing. There's some great history to that character, and so yeah, just the podcast is me basically telling Russell about how cool Howard is, and him being like, "Yeah, Howard's pretty cool, man."
Fantastic stuff. Definitely worth checking out as well. The first episode is available still on Bandcamp. Worth checking out.
Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes. Russell and Knol have a hoot. Have a quacking good time with that. Anyway, next phase, Loonies. It's a waning gibbous. It's going to be a moonwalk. So that is an audio reproduction of one of the comics. So yes, so keep your ear close to the ground, your eyes peeled on our posts as to what that will be. Haven't decided yet, but that will be fun as always. There it is. It just started. See? There you go. I live behind some Benedictine, some Mongolian monks with an ultra bass. They're just singing in the back.
It's the throat singing.
The throat singing.
Mongolian throat singers.
I was gonna say, Ray, what did you have for breakfast?
I hope not, because the windows are closed. I'm stuck in this.
That's what. It's really cold here right now, right? So obviously the windows are cold. And Stella kept on running into the room, crop dusting us and taking off.
No. She's got evil. She's got some evil sense of humor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is so evil.
So check that out, Looney.
Bio-warfare.
Oh my god, yeah. Handkerchief. You got to wear your face mask. So also,
help, man. It's like once it's in it's like peeing in a pool. Once it's in there, it's in there.
You can't get it out.
It's permeated in there. Yeah.
Well, as the chaos reigns.
Memory.
Oh, actually, it's
the
not now.
memory's just there.
That's good. But a big thank you again to the throat singers and to the other throat singers here, Justin and Knol. Always glad to have your dulcet tones on. Thank you, Nogunga. Yeah, he's still singing up a storm. It's Christmas. He's happy. So,
that's cool.
But also, again, a big thanks to Knol and Justin. But a reminder that Knol and Justin will return. We do have a bonus episode, which we will get onto. It's on the other story for this issue, Solo Avengers. It's an American Archer in Paris featuring Hawkeye and the likes of Batroc, the Leaper, and some other terrible assassins. Oh, God.
And others.
Oh,
yes.
Sorry if I can, a slight spoiler. Just most mundane friggin' assassins. Batroc stands out, you know. The others, not so much. But anyway. So keep an eye out on that. That should be dropping in April, so a while. Anyway, our patroonies.
Happy spring, everyone.
Happy spring, happy summer here. For our patroonies, Daniel, Drew, Justin, Derek, Kyle, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, James, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Mario, and Gavin. Thank you so much for all your support. And you too, listeners, can be a patroonie. Just check out patreon.com/ICKMoonKnight. You'll get access to bonus episodes, raw material. You get video. We've got video now, and access to live streaming. We are live streaming now. It's relatively new, so I'm going to take that big fat 0 in the top left corner as an encouraging thing. So hopefully we can bump up a few more there. Also, as well, CLZ Comics, collectors.com. Check out their website for database needs. Drew Toombs, his music Toombs, soundcloud.com/Toombs with a Z, and Lurk Music, lurkmusic with a CK.bandcamp.com. Go check out Drew's fantastic soundscape music. It's really good. Also, Dreamland Comics, use the code MOON to get 20% off. And of course, Daniel Dewing with Fringe Night. He's got some issues coming out. He's got cosplay happening. Please support him at patreon.com/Fringe Night 27. Finally, we are part of the collective. Some great shows. Tomes of Evil, hoping we can get Trapped in the World, as well as the Lost Library of Legends. Lost Library of Legends. We're going to get that on there. Don't worry, quick sticks. You better believe it. And there'll be all links to the show notes for that too. You can also just send us an email on this or send us your complaints about this episode. At feedback at itkmoonnight.com. Tell us why. Tell us why you need to see more or less of us. Website itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Get Vocal, and Podchaser. And incidentally, if you can, please give us a rating on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts. That'd be really great. Or Stitcher or Google Podcasts. It'll help us get out there a little bit more. With that, fellas, I think that about wraps it. A huge thank you once again. I am sweating up a storm here. You guys look very cool and cozy. I see hooded things. I see sweaters. That's
about,
good.
I think 12 degrees here tonight, so God. It's a little chilly.
And that's Fahrenheit, so we're it's the same. I think about exactly the same here too. This says 30. That's a lie. It is not 30. It's 30 degrees. Never mind. It's balmy. It's right around freezing here somehow. It was cold out earlier today. I don't know what's happening, but we're good. Anyway, bye guys.
Catch you later. May Conchi, whatever. The denizens of the night.
See you everyone.
Wait, well, bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.